Hello. Now, for those of you who have followed my other videos that I have, you notice that this is generally a very prominent coral featured in most of my videos, partially because it is by far my largest coral. This is my regular Frogspawn. Has a generally tan, but if you look in there, you can also see a little bit of greenish membrane there in the bottom. This guy was a single tiny little frag. If you take a look at my 36-gallon bow front video, you can actually see this coral in that tank, and just being that tiny little head that was near the power head getting beat up too much. And I have since put it in more ambient flow, and as you can see, it has grown tremendously. It's branched out, put multiple heads. This thing is probably between about 5 and 6 inches across right now, which when you were talking about a single head hammer that was maybe an inch to 2 inches across when I first got it about 20 months ago, you can just see how much this coral has branched out and grown. And of course, it's a lot happier now that it is hanging out under a pair of AI Hydra 26 HDs instead of a crappy Aqueon modular LED. Same thing as the other corals. These tend to like the nitrate levels a little bit higher, in the 10 to 20 range, rather than, the corals that tend to prefer the lower nitrates, the 5 to 10 range. So anyways, they do tend to like water that's a little bit dirtier. I think I paid $35 for the single frag head, which is a pretty common going rate for if you get the single frag. Obviously, to get a coral of this size, you'd be looking at probably about $80 to $100. So that gives you an idea of a good way of going and getting corals. That's one of the reasons why I like getting the frags. A, it saves you a lot of money. B, it's really cool to be able to see them grow and develop. And in my opinion, it stands out more with how big these things can get, how much they can grow and develop. So once again, these corals are just, I'm a big fan of Euphilia, if you haven't figured it out yet with all the other videos I've done. And they do a wonderful job for beginners. This coral, once again, is probably even more so than that green and purple branching hammer coral. This one has been by far my most bulletproof stalwart coral that I have had. I literally cannot do anything to kill this thing. It just keeps growing. That's all it does. Just keeps growing and growing, and is just gorgeous, in my opinion. So, so much so that I enjoy this, that as you've seen, I also got a smaller little green Frogspawn with purple tipped heads, which has more color to it, that I can't wait to see that grow out. So anyways, once again, I don't do any special care to this thing, and in point of fact, it's taken a lot of abuse, and it just keeps growing and growing. So, great coral, wonderful to have, particularly for those of you who tend to have nitrates a bit higher. And that's all I've got, and thanks for watching.